Welcome third grade to our week 18 number talk. This week we're focusing on fractional reasoning, more specifically area models. So before you listen to my explanation on shading the area model below to represent 1/2 the whole, the area model to represent 1/6 the whole, and the area model to represent 1/4 the whole, it would be actually really good for your own development to stop the video and come up with your own answers to these 3 problems. Or 6 area models. So please stop it now. I know you already have done a learning op, but the additional practice will be good for you. Okay, I've assumed that you stopped the video and you created the unit bars and you've already done this out so you can compare. So let's look at the first one. Shade in the area model below to represent 1/2 the whole. Well, if we have 1 whole, well, if I just cut that in half, I could shade in this half, or I could shade in the other half. Or I could have broken up more, but ultimately that's 1/2 of the whole. That would be one way you could do it. Now we look at the next one. We could still cut this in half, although there's 3 bars. We can still cut this in half of the whole, but this is where we could have shaded in. We could actually shade in. Maybe we shade in this first bar, and then we shade in this. Now again, this is not the only way to do it, but technically that is half of the whole unit shaded in. We'll look at the next example. Shade in the area model below to represent 1/6. Well, if we think about 1/6, well, right now it's broken up into thirds. So if we broke this up, we could break that up into 1/6, and we could shade in that bar. Again, that's not the only way to do it. With that, once we realize that, we also could bring that same philosophy down below. We say, well, wait a second. I could shade in. What if I shaded in here and here? Which is technically 2/12, which is the same as 1/6. So, because if I shaded in here and here, that's 2/12 of it. If we look at the next one, we have shade in the model area below to represent 1/4. Well, we could break this up into fourths, and we could shade in 1/4 of it. Now again, we go to the next one. 1/4. Well, now they've broken that bar into 8 bars, but it's 1/4. We know that 2/8 is the same as, so I could shade in this first bar, and I could shade the bar below, or if I so desired, I could jump down here and shade this bar. Because we know that if I move this bar over, this bottom would represent the top in terms of what part of your whole, 1/4 of your whole, is shaded in. Again, those are just a few different ways you could do it. You could have done it a lot of different ways. Hopefully you had some fun with this, and if you have any questions, please see your teachers or see me so we can start to talk about the idea of in an area model, what would it look like using unit bars. Thank you.